I do not think Kevin Stefanski wants Shedeur Sanders to succeed in Cleveland. If I'm Shedeur, or if I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan, I would not want him to take the field because that's going to consistently be the display we're going to see. It doesn't matter if it's Deshaun Watson. It doesn't matter if it's Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't matter if it's Dylan Gabriel. It doesn't matter if it's Dan Orlovsky. It doesn't matter if it's Cam Newton. You need help in Cleveland.
As a former MVP in this league, Cam Newton has forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. I understand what he's trying to do. I understand that Cam Newton and his pretend friends in the mainstream media, they are trying to protect the chosen one. They are trying to protect the so-called can't-miss prospect. They are giving a fifth-round draft pick, who the media believes walks on water. They're already formulating excuses as to why Shedeur Sanders will take the field on Sunday against one of the worst teams in the league and drop another turd. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. The media is going out of their way to shield Deion's baby boy from the onslaught of criticism that he is receiving. But they are not doing Shedeur Sanders any favors. For starters, I don't want to hear about the lack of help in Cleveland. I didn't hear ESPN making these same excuses for Spence Rattler. I didn't hear Cam Newton make these excuses for Tyler Shuck. The offensive talent in Cleveland, or lack thereof, it's similar to the lack of talent we have in New Orleans. It's not Shedeur Sanders' job to make excuses. It's not Shedeur Sanders' job to pout on the sidelines. It's not his job to tell the media how great he is and how he is better than most starters in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders has the same responsibility as every other quarterback in the league. If you want to be a franchise quarterback, your job is to elevate the offense. You don't have the luxury of talking shit. Daddy Deion had that luxury. Daddy Deion could give himself nicknames. He could refer to himself as prime time because Deion Sanders was ready for prime time. He would tell you on Wednesday that he was going to shut down his half of the field. Sunday afternoon during pregame warm-ups, he would dare you to throw in his direction. If you were brave enough to make that mistake, Deion Sanders would make the interception, then point at you as he was dancing his way into the end zone. A lot of people didn't like Deion Sanders for that reason, but Uncle KC loved it. You see, Deion Sanders understood that the NFL was more than just a football game. He knew that sports was about entertainment. Whether you loved him or hated him, Deion Sanders was there to entertain you. Whether it was love or hate, Deion Sanders made you feel something. Michael Jordan, he would shoot free throws with his eyes closed. Reggie Miller was a notorious shit talker. Michael Irvin, he would tell you what route he was running and dare you to stop him. But there is a huge difference between these legends and Shedeur Sanders. They had the talent. They had the ability to back it up. You can't tell the media that you're better than most starters in the league and come out in your first opportunity and drop a stinky turd. Clearly, the confidence was passed down from father to son, but it remains to be seen whether Shedeur Sanders has the same level of greatness. One thing I know for sure, ESPN and the rest of the mainstream media, they are not doing this kid any favors by polishing the turd. And if they're not careful, they're going to give Shedeur Sanders go-away heat. People will be hoping he just goes away. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be discussing an interesting article I saw yesterday about the current state of college football. Supposedly, The majority of college football programs are struggling financially. Some are losing millions of dollars every year. I'll give you the details, so click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Cam Newton isn't the only one protecting Deion's baby boy. According to Skip Bayless, hey, it's me, Skippy B! According to Skippy, Shedeur Sanders proved to everyone on Sunday that he's going to be a big star in this league. Shedeur Sanders proved on Sunday that he has what it takes to be a franchise quarterback. Were we watching the same game? Was Skippy's optometrist blind when he was prescribing his spectacles? This is the same Skip Bayless who spent years trying to convince us that Tim Tebow was the savior. This dude tried to convince us that Tim Tebow, who couldn't throw a screen pass, Skip Bayless tried to convince us that Tim Tebow was the chosen one. The only franchise quarterback I saw on the field Sunday afternoon was Lamar Jackson. Based on what I saw from Shedeur Sanders, he's lucky to be in the league. He's lucky the Browns are giving him the league minimum to occupy a spot on the roster. According to someone named Josina Anderson, who is supposedly an NFL reporter, based on her recent analysis, she might soon be a former NFL reporter. According to Josie, this was not an intentional debut for Shedeur Sanders. He was put into the game by default. This doesn't count. He had no first-team reps in practice. Practice? Default? Doesn't count? Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. A regular season game in the middle of November against a division rival doesn't count? Let me give Josina Anderson a little history lesson. Let Uncle Casey teach Josina Anderson how an opportunity given by default can change the course of your NFL career. September 23rd, 2001, Patriots playing the Jets. Similar to the situation Sunday with Shedeur Sanders, this was a game featuring division rivals. Drew Bledsoe was the starting quarterback for New England, same Drew Bledsoe who had led the Patriots to the Super Bowl a few years earlier. Fourth quarter, Patriots are down 10-3. Drew Bledsoe takes a brutal hit, ends up having internal bleeding. A sixth-round draft pick, a young man by the name of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, comes into the game. Patriots still lost, but the following week, they beat Peyton Manning and the Colts 44-13. And for the next 2 decades, Tom Brady was the icon of icons. So don't give me this shit, this excuse with Shedeur Sanders about this not being an intentional opportunity. It doesn't matter how you get the opportunity. The only thing that matters is you take advantage of it. And Sunday afternoon, Shedeur Sanders failed to do that. Damn near the entire media is making excuses for Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski hates this kid. He doesn't want to see a young black man succeed. There are 32 head coaching positions in the NFL. 330, 340 million people in America. 32 get the opportunity to coach in this league. Do you really think Kevin Stefanski is going to risk his career by sabotaging a 5th-round draft pick? I know I keep saying this, but the media is not helping. They are not doing Shedeur Sanders any favors. People aren't stupid. They know when they're being lied to, and they damn sure know when the mainstream media is trying to serve them the shit sandwich. In most cases, when the mainstream media is desperate for America to embrace their chosen star, America rejects them. If you don't believe me, go ask Angel Reese. For 2 or 3 years now, the media has been begging you to embrace Angel Reese. Right now, Angel Reese has never been more irrelevant. I was talking with some other YouTubers the other day. They mainly focus on the WNBA dump. They were telling me that Angel Reese videos aren't as lucrative as they used to be. In some cases, their audiences are telling them they are no longer interested in the Me-Bound Barbie. I mentioned earlier, Skip Bayless and his weird obsession with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is one of the most likable dudes in sports. I have never heard anyone have a negative thing to say about the character of Tim Tebow. But because Skippy was so obsessed, because he was begging you to embrace him, there were a lot of people who rejected Tim Tebow. When John Cena was starting out in the WWE, he was playing the role of a white rapper. Audience loved it. As soon as the company got behind him, as soon as they turned John Cena into corporate Cena, the audience rejected him for the next 15 years. They did the same thing with Roman Reigns. The point is, you have to allow stars to grow organically. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, they didn't become big stars because the media pushed people to embrace them. They became big stars by earning it on the field. The media can try all they want, and believe me, they are going to continue trying. They will not rest until Shedeur Sanders is one of the biggest stars in the league. But it's not going to work. The only way for Shedeur Sanders to be respected is to earn it. You're not helping him by polishing the turd. You're not helping Shedeur Sanders by blaming Kevin Stefanski for his failure. Everyone knows the Browns' offense sucks, but somehow they have managed to put up 16 points a game. You know how many points Shedeur Sanders contributed on Sunday? 0. There's no amount of polish that will cover this performance. Dillon Gabriel was the Browns' passing leader on Sunday. 68 passing yards. There is no excuse to be made. Shedeur Sanders doesn't have to win. He just has to look like an NFL quarterback. And no amount of media propaganda is going to make that dream become reality. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.